Hi, welcome to Flutter Junction. Today we are going to learn Hive in Flutter, and we shall be learning Hive first with the slides, and then we create the project uh, using Hive. And before that, if you haven't subscribed this channel, please subscribe and press the bell icon to get notified on upcoming videos. Right now, let's move to our first action. We shall be learning the basics of Hive with this slide. And you can find this slide on this description below. Please find it. And first, what is Hive? It is the lightweight NoSQL database that is used to store data locally in Flutter and Dart applications, and it is very simple to use, and it consists of a key value database without numerous relations. That means we don't have to use any complex relations for using Hive. And box, and without box we cannot use Hive, as Hive stores its data to the box. And for a small box, a small app, a single box might be enough, but whenever our application get bigger, we need to have more boxes. And also we can share the encrypted and sensitive data also. And first we need to open box to use the Hive, and to open box we can use this syntax, open box with the data model. That means our model, and then the box name. And then also we can use the syntax without the data model, and we can use either way. And without opening the box we cannot perform any operations, that is to create, read, update or delete the data. And to get the open box, we can, it is very simple to use hybrid box and our box name. And whenever we don't need the box, we can close the box, and so that we release the memory. And we can use we can achieve by this syntax await box dot close, and it is very simple to close the box. And writing means we are adding the data. That means we can first we open the box, find the box, and then we put the value in key, and this is the value. That means we store the name, John Doe, and we put the friends in Hari, Ram, Sita. We can uh, add any sorts of data, that means string or array or map or numbers. And as you can see, this is array, this is number, and you can find this is the map data. And to read the data, just we need to find the box, and then just get the key name. That means as we can see here, whenever we put the name here, name key, and then whenever we call this string name box.get name, we shall be getting John Doe. And whenever the key is not present, that means the value key is not present, then it is returned null. And also we can use the default value, and we can achieve this as follows. And box.get our key, whenever it gets null, we can get the default value 12.5. and type adapters, and all types of data types are almost accepted by the Hive. And the type adapters convert the object form into binary form. And before using the type, using the uh, uh, Hive, we need to register them, and we can generate or we can write on it on our own. And to register that, first using the our Hive or adapter, we need to register it, and it is very simple to register. You can see Hive to register adapter, my adapter in the adapter name. And why to use Hive database? That means it is very fast and performance, uh, like in compared to other databases like SQLite and set references. And it does not have much relational operations, queries, and it is very easy to perform the prod operations. And when to use Hive? That means we can use Hive to store cart contents, That means whenever we click on the cart, then we can store the cart contents, and our blog and articles, messages, categories of the products, that means in e-commerce, and session, that means our whether the user is logged in or not, and also its information. And when not to use Hive, whenever our system gets bigger and whenever we need to perform the complex queries, we cannot use Hive. For that, you should consider using the SQLite. Thank you. Now we shall be learning Hive with the project. We are going to create the groceries app. This is how our final application will be working. And whenever we don't have data, we have no data, and we have the app bar with the title Groceries Memo, and we have our fav icon. Whenever we click this icon, floating action button, and then we have the form validation. We cannot uh, leave them empty, and let's input our first groceries. That would be, let's say, potato, and our quantity would be, let's say, 1, and the matrix potato is 1 kg. The matrix means our matrix of the uh, items, right? And we have our memo created, and whenever we click again, and then let's say oil quantity 1, and then our matrix would be liter, because all oil would be in liter, and then we create new, and we have our, again, the memo is created. And we can also edit our memo. Oil updated, let's say, and then let's make it 10, and we can also change this, let's say, 2000, and update, and we have the oil, our data updated. And also similarly we can delete the data. This is how our final application would be looking. Right, now let's go to our project and build our groceries memo. For that, we need to have our dependencies added on our popsec.yaml file. These dependencies, you can find them in the description below, uh, and you need to add them in the dependencies. I already have added these dependencies: Hive, Flutter, path provider, app generator, and in the dev dependencies we shall be adding build runner, and then we run pop get. Right, now after adding all the dependencies in the popsec.yaml file, let's move to our main.dart file. Let's remove this. We are going to create our own home page, and then inside lib folder, homepage.dart, and then, if you are using VS Code and you write st and control space, you shall be having these options, and you can create stateless or stateful widget easily. I will be making stateful widget, so I choose stateful widget and name it home page. Let's remove this. Import trail dot from Flutter, and then scaffold is the screen of the mobile or the emulator. Let's keep the app bar. Title, text, groceries memo, and then body. Now let's enter text, no data, and then floating action button to add our data. As you can see here, this floating action button, whenever we don't have data, we would be having no data, and then groceries memo, and then floating action button on paste. Let's leave it empty for now, and then child icon start add. Let's make it const, and let's make it const, right? Whenever we click this floating action button, we are going to show the model, this model. Now let's add the model here. Before that, let's import homepage, go our main.file, and our homepage would be homepage, right? Whenever we click the floating action button, we are going to show the model, bottom model. Let's create the widget. So form context null and null. I have to be explaining why are we using null here. For now, let me create this so form. Whenever we don't have the item key, we are going to add the data. So we are passing this null, and then our index also, and so model bottom sheet. In the context should be context, and then build a. For now, let's leave it empty. Now let's save it the container, and then get some arguments here. That means is dismissible, that means false. That means whenever we click outside, it is not going to be closed. We have to click exit to get closed. Is this full control false. Then our child, we are going to show the form, and we are going to validate it. You can see here we are going to validate it, so we need the form key equals global key form state. Close it. Now then form key, our form key, this key, and then child column children, and then text field, text form field. As we are going to validate it, we need to use the text form field widget, and our controller. Let's add our controller also. The name item controller equals text editing controller, and then again another controller for our quantity. Let's make it final here, and also this also, and then name it quantity controller. And then as you can see here, we have the drop down, and for that where selected value, let's leave it empty, and also some metrics. So let's define them also. Matrix equals kg, then LTR liter, let's say gram, and then dozen, and then number of items, numbers. And then let's go to our form, and then our control first would be item controller, and then next text form field, and then controller would be qty controller. And then when we string this area, right, this should be closed. And then now let's restart it, but reload. You can see here we have app bar and no data, and then our model but is opened, and whenever we click outside, it is not closing. Let's add some button so that we close this bottom sheet to our home page. And you can see here we don't have the label. Let's add some label and the space between in the text field. Let's beautify it first. Let's move to our homepage dot file. Let's give some padding to the container. Const is dot only, comma, and then from bottom media query context princess dot bottom. And then from top, sorry, this should be inside the padding, and from top 15, right 15, and also from left 15. And then when we are to restart it, we can see our form fields having some space from top, left, and bottom. Right, whenever you click it, as you can see, there the space between the text fields. Right, now add some the drop down and the button to save and delete the this model sheet. Also, now let's add some label decoration, input decoration in text, item name, and then let's copy this and then paste here, item quantity, and also the val data. That means whenever our file is empty, we are going to show the error if hello dot is empty, This should not be null. When value is not empty, we are going to return is empty. We are going to return required field fi field, and then whenever it is doing nothing, we return null. And then also quantity also, and then let's add the drop down for the matrix. Drop down button from field and unchanged. Let's leave it empty. It takes new value or value, any variable here, and the items. The item should be this matrix. So matrix dot map item, then we return drop down menu item, and the child would be text item. Need to close it. Showing the error here. Matrix dynamic can be assigned to that. It should be to list. Right now, and then our menu item child would be text item, and we return the value item from the drop down menu item, and then also the validator. For now, validator new value. Similar like ever, whenever if selected value is equals null, that means we haven't saved any matrix. We return say matrix is required, and it is whenever it is false, we return null. Right now, on changed, whenever our drop down item is changed, we set the state selected value would be equals to new value. Right now, whenever we will reload it, now we shall find let's restart it, and then when we click, we have the text field name and the drop down, and we have the matrix here. We have the text field. Now we need to have the button to save and exit the model bottom sheet. And you can see here there are not space between the text field. Let's give some space. Const size box height, let's give 10. Let's copy and paste this, and also here, and we are going to place the buttons in row children. Elevated button unpressed. Let's leave it empty for now, and then child would be text uh, exit. Let's give some style to our button. Style elevated button dot style from, and our background color of would be color start red or exit, and then our text color would be foreground color would be color start white. Similarly, our save button, let's duplicate it, and then it should be background color would be let's leave this empty. Let's okay, green and white, and should be saved. Let's restart it again, and whenever we click, we have text fields and the drop down to select items and these buttons, and let's make them spaced a bit further them, and also the size is smaller. For that, manage this alignment dot space between. It takes our items far from each other. For now, let's make this navigator of context. It closes the dialog whenever we press the exit button. Let's restart it. It is model bottom sheet, so the state is not updating. As you can see, these buttons are spaced from each other, and when you click exit, the model button sheet is closing. And now this space, we have this extra space. Let's remove this, and in our column, let's give main axis size dot mean. Means it takes only the minimum size, and when you are to restart it again, click, and then we can see we have the outer extra space is gone, and then we don't have the uh, in text here. Let's place the index in the drop down. Right, we haven't also given the value also. Value, that means our selected value. Whenever we select the items and then we have our value would be selected value, and then our in text, hint text select matrix, and also give some border to the drop down field. Decoration, outline, input border, border radius. We don't need the border radius first. Now let's keep border, and then outline, decoration. It should be input decoration, and border, and the border would be outline, input border, and let's give border radius dot circular. We don't need the border radius. We can have outline input border without border radius. And we restart it again. Right now we have the text field and the also the border and this selected matrix. When we can select it, we can type them and we shall have the value. And when we click exit, our button sheet is exiting. Now we are going to create the model to save this data. Right now let's create the model in the lib folder. Name it data underscore model dot tar, and here we are going to define how our data would be look like. Let's import Hive first. Import Hive dot dart, and then we define our Hive type ID 0. This type ID must be different for different boxes. Class data model actions the Hive object Hive field. That means our field and our index 0, our ID 0, string item, and also our second field 1 final string quantity, and the third field our matrix Hive field 2 final string matrix, and then we create data model this dot item this dot quantity this dot matrix. Then we close it. Now we need to create also the type adapter. For that, let's write part data underscore model. This needs to be same, and then dot g dot dart, and then in our terminal let's create new terminal here. We need to run the build runner so that we have our adapter created, and for that we need to add command Flutter packages pub run build underscore runner build, and it may take some time. Come on, it is taking a bit longer than expected. Bingo, we have our type adapter created. As you can see here, this file is generated automatically, and we have this. We can also change this, but we don't need to change it. Whenever we change our data model, we need to run the same this runner build, and we shall have our type adapter updated. Now let's get back to our application, so that we have to save this data to our Hive. Let's get back to our home page, and in this save button, whenever we click this save button, this save button, we have to save the data to our Hive. Now Let's check the validation first. If our form global key dot current state validate, that means if our uh, form is validated or not. If it is validated, then we are going to save the data. For that, let's initialize our box, declare our box variable, and come back to our same function. Here we are going to open the box equals await after open box, and let's say our box name would be Hive box, and this should be async. For that, await and need to import Hive. Right now we have our data model created. We save this data model to our Hive. So we initialize our data model, and then our item would be item controller dot text. That means this controller, we take the value from the item controller. Similarly, quantity would be quantity controller ty controller dot text, and then our matrix would be selected value. And now if item key equals null, means this item key, if our item key is null, that means our data is not present in our Hive database. Item key is not, if it is null, then we are going to save the data. Box dot add data model, that means we are going to add our data to the box, and then we navigator, and then we close the dialog, and after saving we reset our form. That means item controller dot text equals, it is empty. Similarly, quantity controller dot text equals empty, and then our selected value would be null. Let's restart it again. Now we click on floating action button. When you click save, we can't save the form without being them empty. So item name would be, let's say, potato, and quantity 1, and then when you save, we are getting the error here. Instead, you need to initialize Hive or provide store to the box. That means we need to provide the path to store the Hive. For that, let's move to our main.dart file. In here, let's do this, make it clean, and into our main. Here we need to initialize our Hive. For that, widget binding dot initialize. That means all the bindings should be initialized. It makes sure it makes sure all our widgets binding would be initialized or not. And then directory equals await path provider. Okay, we need to import the path provider here. Import package path provider is provider, and we can use this path provider here, and this await it should be asynchronous, and then path provider dot get application documents directory, our directory, that means our folder to our to save the our data, and then with the init the directory. Let's copy this and then dot path, and need to import Hive also right now, and then we register the adapter. Our adapter would be this data model adapter. Then we open the our Hive, open box, and we have the name Hive box. Make sure these key are the same, and then we are ready to go. Let's restart it again. And then when you click again, and then item name potato, quantity would be 2, and then matrix, let's say kg, and then we save. We have our item saved. Now let's fetch our data to the body. For that, home page, and then let's make a function first. Void get items, and box equals await. We again open the box. I've got open box, the same name, Hive underscore box, and let's make it async, and then where items equals, so let's say empty array, and then we place all these items saved to our database. To these items equals box dot values dot to list reverse dot to list. That means we reverse this list, so that our latest memo get on the top. Let's reverse our list, and then init state we get the items, and then in body and if items dot length equals 0, that means we don't have items, and it is let's say now let's say container, not now. If it is having data, let's say data is present. Then let's restart it again. Whenever our data length is 0, then we have we shall be getting no data. Whenever we have the data is present. You can see here and the last data is saved and we are getting the data is present. That means our last data we entered is now already saved into our database. Now let's show them in the list, and for that list view dot builder item builder context comma index and then return and return. Let's do this, return card size style, and we need to close this. The icon missing here, and then again close right now. Refactor it again. Card list style, and then in list style the title would be text items of index dot item, and then subtitle would be row children and text same as above items. Let's copy this dot quantity, let's give some weight 5 and text dot matrix to string, and we restart it again, and we can see we have our list items present. We got the error here, invalid value, only value is 0 or 1. Okay, we haven't given the item count here. Item count items dot length, skip string wrap true, and then again restart it again. We can see we have our potato 2 kg showing. That means our data is saved. Now we are going to place the edit and delete icon so that we can edit and delete this list from our groceries menu. For that, and subtitle right after subtitle here, trailing at the end, it means row children icon button. Whenever that means we shall having the icon that is clickable icon start edit, and when we press it we shall be editing uh, our form and icon button same, and also on pressed let's leave it empty, and icon start delete, and when deleting this icon we are going to delete our item. Refactor it, Expected icon button. This is closed. This is closed. Icon button. This is also closed. Showing the error here. Right. Icon data cannot be used. It should be icon start. Delete. Let this. Close this. Refactor it. And when you restart again, we shall having edit and delete icon in this card. You can see, and it is our text are not showing. For that, let's add our main axis size dot mean. That means our row would be taking the less size, and we have our pencil icon and delete icon here. And whenever we click this icon, we are going to edit our form. For that, and this edit icon, we are going to open the same form, this form, and the item key. Here item key would be items index dot key. That means whenever if the key is present, we are going to edit here, and then our index would be index. And when we restart it again, when you click the icon but edit icon, we are going to have our form open. You can see here the values. As we can see here, we don't have our data loading on the first restart, and so you can see here I haven't set state of the items so that it could get rendered, the view get rendered. Then when we reload it again, we shall have our data present here, and we again restart it. It will be showing our data on the restart also. Right, now it is showing, and now whenever we click the icon, it should have the value placed on these fields. For that, we need to go to our show form and then check if item key not equals null. That means we have our data, and then we set state our controllers. We don't need this set state. We place our item controller dot text to be items of index dot item, and then our quantity controller dot text should be items index dot quantity dot string. It should be in string, and then selected value would be items index dot matrix. Right, now when we restart it again, let's edit it, and we click, and we have the value placed on our items, and then we can change also, and then we can save. And it's now not working because, as you can see here, we have checked if item key is null. That means we don't have our item, and if it is not null, that means we have our item. So we need to else box dot put our item key, our identifier, and then our data model. Let's reload it again, and then we need save. Let's restart it, and when we click on edit, we have our items updated, and we click on save. It is not updating. Why? It's because we haven't set the state of our items, and then we haven't cleared the this model bottom sheet. For that, we need to navigator dot to close it, and then we get the items again to get refreshed. And then let's restart it again. Now when we update, as you can see here, it was updated, but because we haven't set the state of the items, it is not showing the data. Now when we click on edit again, and then we again edit it to potato, and let's make it 20, and then click on save. You can see we have our data updated, and now we have to delete this item from the list. For that, we need to unpressed on the click icon, we need to delete function. For that, it should be in our card. So from here, we need to run the delete function here, and for that, we need to open the box. Wait, I've got open box, and name would be Hive underscore box, and on-press should be async, and then box dot delete items index dot key. That means we are going to delete the key of the that item, and then we again run the get items so that our list get updated. Then we restart it again. Now when we delete, we have our data deleted and we have no data, and we again enter the data onion quantity 20 and matrix kg, and then save, and then we again add potato 1, let's say gram, and then save. We have our data. Now let's edit potato to oil and make it liter and make it 10, and then we save it again, and we have this updated, and when you place and click delete, it is deleted. Now as you can see here, we have both save button on edit also and on creating new. Let's make it updated and save. For that, let's go to our bottom sheet, and whenever, and for that, when item key equals null, if it is null, let's say create new, and it is, if it is not null, then make it save, and it is not const. Now let's restart it again. Now when we click on edit button, not restarted yet, let's wait for a minute. Now when we click on plus icon, we can see it is create new, and when we click on edit icon we can see save. Let's make it update and reload it. We can see the update, but here we can see we have the data uh, already existing. Whenever we click new also, this is because we haven't cleared our form after editing our form. So let's go to our edit, so form, and on edit right here, whenever we update our item, let's make it state and then clear it and then reload it again. Now we can see whenever we edit and update, we have this. When we click on plus icon, we have our empty form. Right, we have learned how to use Hive in Flutter, and I hope you like this video. And if you have any queries regarding this tutorial, please ping me and comment, or you can mail me at flutterjunction@gmail.com. And if you want me to recommend some videos, you can also ping me and comment, or mail me at the same mail, flutterjunction@gmail.com. And if you like this video, please like, comment and share it with your friends, and please subscribe the channel to get awesome videos in upcoming days. Thank you.